without the ring, he's just a military Air Force guy who has been trained in the military and in the Air Force. So I guess he wouldn't be, the comic book type hero that you would say, but I do still think he knows what he would be able to dodge things and be able to compete because he's military trained.
Well, also it mentions a lot, and I actually know that we had a little discussion about this beforehand, that when I went and I saw the Green Lantern movie, which obviously, was not one of my highest movies that I've ever seen, and I know a lot of people discredit it majorly, but it still tries to basically give an idea on what the Green Lantern is basically like. And one of the things they really primarily focused on was the fact of, having focus. So basically, you mean to tell me that if a person loses focus, then it doesn't have as much strength as it usually would have at 100%, which, again, says majorly that's kind of tough to do, to focus on one thing and not focus on another thing, and it losing some of its energy. You kind of get what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying, but for Hal Jordan, that isn't difficult. He does it. That is his thing. That's his shit, man. That's how he became the most famous lantern bearer, ring bearer in the whole galaxy, is that guy can concentrate. That guy can concentrate on his willpower, and he wins. That's why he's the best. So it's not a problem for him. I could see myself having an issue, yes, but he's the superhero. He's the Green Lantern because it's not a problem for him.
I'm still finding it hard to believe that a human could beat 72,000 other life forms, but okay. So let's move on to the next one, being weaknesses. I read an article, and this will actually get into one of our comments that were posted up about, the rebuttal for, Green Lantern, superhero, or super zero from Amanda Elise, who you mentioned quite a bit that, that when it comes to a lot of the superheroes, they do need to have time to just cool off, recharge, stuff like that. And she did, to her credit, mention that the ring itself does need to be recharged. Here's the thing, though. With a lot of the superheroes, again, yes, they do have to recharge. But that doesn't mean that their powers necessarily go away unless, like in Superman's case, if it was, kryptonite, then yeah, I can definitely see that. If Batman lost a lot of his gadgets, I could see how that would be another thing. Or in the case of Spider-Man 2, where, his powers just stopped working, I can see where that be an argument. But for him to basically, have to rest his own body plus his own superpowers, that just screams weakness to me because, the fact of the matter that it has to be recharged like it was an iPhone, what the hell? Honestly, it's one of those things where I'm just like, really? Why? I just don't get it.
I'm pretty sure you just argued for me with that. You just named off all these legendary DC superheroes and said, yes, they all have to recharge. Because, yes, they do, because they are living. If they were not, if the comic book people, the comic book creators of these superheroes didn't give them a weakness or didn't give them these humanistic qualities, everyone wouldn't read these. They wouldn't be decades old, and people wouldn't care about superheroes the way they do. That is one thing that some people think bad about Superman, is that he doesn't have enough weaknesses. And so people are like, well, there's a disconnect there, and that's why a lot of people discredit Superman for not being the best superhero of all time, because people don't like that he doesn't have weaknesses. Giving the ring this weakness is giving Hal Jordan and all of the Green Lantern Corps more connecting with their fans. Like, yes, you have to recharge your iPhone. If you use GPS on your iPhone and that's how you get everywhere every day, you better plan ahead and have a specific plan and a specific charger with you at all times. It's smart. It's how I get around, and it makes me definitely reliable on power. But that's how the Green Lanterns are too. They don't have to recharge very often, In fact, in the comics, I don't think he recharges in most issues. So it's not like he fights, and then has to recharge. It's more like, I think, a monthly, almost ritual thing, is that they have to go to the big Green Lantern area, put their ring up just to say a few sentences that really recharges their own willpower. It's almost like a meditation thing for them, and a way to connect all of the Green Lantern Corps members, life forms, together. And, I mean, a weakness is a good thing in the comic book world. People love weaknesses. People love Batman for just being human. Him getting a weakness is a plus in the comic book community.
Well, I get what you're saying, but like I said, with a lot of the superheroes, just because, they're resting doesn't mean that their superpowers are resting as well. They still have their powers. I mean, look at the Incredible Hulk. Yeah, goes back to Bruce Banner, but he doesn't lose that power and have to recharge it for however long that ring needs to be recharged for, whether it be hours, minutes, or whatever. But like I'm saying, that physically, yeah, they need to recharge, they need to rest again. But their superhero powers are not gone. They don't need to go to some magical place or go to some random plug-in outlet just to recharge it. And to your point, you mentioned, of course, iPhones, stuff like that. I get that. But we don't rely on iPhones to save the world. That's the thing.
That's true. But he still has his powers, too. They go before their power runs out, or they can never get there. So he only goes when it's hey, Justice League, gotta leave for a second, go do my thing on... I don't remember what planet it's on. But they're able to still cross the entire galaxy with their ring power. So I've never seen him fully lose all power within the comic books.
Okay. Well, moving on to another weakness that he has, and this is where it really, really gets me. And an article that I read online really kind of best describes it. The fact that the major weakness for the Green Lantern is one thing and one thing only, the color yellow. You mean to tell me that out of all the greatest things that he could possibly do, whether it be focus, whether it be creating all this matter, you mean to tell me that he basically can't fight the primary color of yellow? That just makes absolutely no sense to me, and it is one of those things where they flat out said, okay, if you're battling a primary color and you lose, your superhero flat out sucks. And I'm just well, kind of hard to disagree with that. I mean, what other superhero basically says, I can handle anything except for the color periwinkle or the color red or whatever. The fact that it's the color yellow says, what? It's not even one of those things I can even, continue on. Right there, it says, weakness, color yellow.
I would like to read that article because they probably went more in depth than the color yellow, because the color yellow is actually not his weakness. He can look at the color yellow. Oh, the sun is yellow. Oh, this is yellow. What they mean is the biggest weakness for the Green Lantern Corps is the yellow ring bearers, which I already told you guys a little bit about. Sinestro, he bears the yellow ring, and the yellow ring is fear and intimidation. So if you think of what the green represents, which is willpower, fear and intimidation is definitely something that can throw them off their game. And that's his arch nemesis. That's why they said that's his biggest weakness, is him versus Sinestro. That's the whole point of the comic, is that him versus Sinestro, Superman versus Lex Luthor, Batman versus the Joker, Wonder Woman versus... I'm going to go with Ares. I don't know. There's a lot of... I don't necessarily like to pick one main villain for Wonder Woman. But that's what they probably meant. So I'm guessing you just read that a little wrong, because the color yellow in general, he could wear a yellow shirt. If Hal wanted to wear a yellow shirt, he could wear a yellow shirt. So I think you just got misinformed there.
I'll look at it and I'll inform everybody what the website was. But no, they were saying the color yellow for some reason or whatever. Maybe it was for the yellow ring bearers, but again, just that color yellow, whether it be ring bearers or not, again, why?
And I'm just going to tell you that's wrong. So I would like to see where you got that information, but just for everybody and anybody out there, the color yellow is not a weakness of the Green Lantern. But
that's a lie, though. You just told me that the yellow ring bearers are his weakness, hence yellow weakness. So that proves my point.
No. You are saying the color yellow. I'm saying the ring bearers of fear and intimidation,
which are yellow.
Yes, not the color. The green is not just the color green right here. If I'm holding a green object, that isn't willpower. That isn't willpower. That is not the Green Lantern's power. If I'm holding a yellow thing in my hand right now, that does not represent fear and intimidation. But in the comics, when the ring lights that color, that shows and represents the ring bearer's ability. So green light on a Green Lantern ring is willpower. Not all green in the whole comic book. Yellow light on a ring bearer's ring is fear and intimidation, aka the bad guys, not just the color. So I don't want you to confuse anybody into reading DC Comics thinking that any yellow thing is, oh my God, Hal Jordan, run! No, that's wrong, and I cannot allow that. I can't allow that out there. So fear and intimidation ring bearers that glow yellow because they carry the power of fear and intimidation. That's it.
You know, I'm just looking forward to the comments of when people are just saying, like, wow, I love how this guy got schooled, basically, like a little school child, basically spelling it out simply like this, where she needs a chalkboard, where she's just writing down the entire thing. And it feels like it is at this point, where it's just like, you know, yellow, not bad.
Well, I'm trying to explain it, but you kept just pulling off the colors, and I'm like, no, it's not right. It's not right. It's like scratching my face off. Oh.
I mean, I shouldn't take too much offense. I mean, considering I'm talking to the woman that can't spell quiet, she spells the quite before the storm, so.
Oh, whoops. I can do that. Oh, I relied on my iPhone. You're right, iPhones cannot save the world.
Yes, I get 1 point at least for this argument. Okay, so let's talk about the popularity of the Green Lantern. Now, from my experience, that what I've seen is I usually go on Rotten Tomatoes when it comes to like movie reviews and stuff like that, like anybody usually would. Green Lantern is not one of the higher superheroes when it comes down to this. And we've kind of discussed this beforehand, that he's well known, but as far as popularity-wise, he's not really high up there. I mean, you look at, of course, Green Lantern with Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively, not exactly the best movie to do it. There was even another movie that was at least 50% on Rotten Tomatoes, and it was kind of like an animated feature, to which we mentioned that DC does a really good job with animations, a little bit better than Marvel does. And you even look at like the Lego Batman movie, Green Lantern's not exactly the higher up deal. He was just kind of there. So why is that? Why is he not that popular?
I don't even know what to say to that. I mean, are you just talking about movies now? Because that's what it sounded like, movies. I thought we were talking about just the superhero in general. Because movies, I will agree with you that, yeah, that movie sucked. I've never heard any person tell me they liked that movie. So I agree with you. I think the Green Lantern movie with Ryan Reynolds, him himself said, like, they make fun of it in Deadpool because it was a bomb. They sucked at it. They should have got a new director, a writer, everything. Everybody should have been redone on that movie. But I don't know. I could look it up right now, but it's not good for our connection. I don't know where he ranks on the DC heroes, but in general, I feel like people mostly know him. When I was asking around just with today, when I'm like, hey, does anyone know Green Lantern? And I was